Hello everyone, and welcome to yet another, there's a fell river right there, World of Warcraft stream, where this is actually the third stream in a row, like 3 days in a row, that I've been playing World of Warcraft, where I played a little bit of hardcore, I guess, and then I lost my character, and then I started playing the Season of Discovery, where I was just testing out a lot of stream stuff. But yesterday we started exploring the lands of Outlands, also known as Outland, also known as former Draenor, or formerly known as Draenor, or however you want to say it. And I am continuing my adventures here today, where I really want to explore the second map in Outlands in this stream, and depending on how fast we get through everything, and if we do and explore everything that I want to do and explore in this stream, I'll go ahead and move on to the next area, but we will probably only stick to the second zone, where the first zone is Hellfire Peninsula, where we explored a lot of things, and the next zone is Zangarmarsh, which is a very iconic zone in World of Warcraft, and one of the most popular zones in the game, and it is filled with the mushrooms, where we can see a few mushrooms right there, alongside some of the twisty nether around Outlands here. But we have the Cenarian Post, which I explored a little bit of in the last episode, and I can go ahead and just turn in this quest where we can help the Cenarian Post. But then from this Cenarian Circle person here who's meeting up with the Cenarian Expedition, we can go ahead and take the quest that we got from her, and we can head into Zangarmarsh, which is very exciting. And of course, I talked about this last stream, but the Cenarian Circle is a group of druids in Kalimdor, and then all of normal Azeroth, who are working to just help out with a lot of the threats to basically nature around the world of Azeroth, but also some stuff with the Kraji and whatnot, and so on and so forth. But they have an expedition into Outlands here called the Cenarian Expedition, and their main base camp is right here, right at the entrance to Zangarmarsh, which is the screenshot that I have in the thumbnail for this stream, and I just really like this place. And I'm going to move my mic just a tiny bit there, and it should still be the same volume. But I just want to explore pretty much everything at the start here, and then we can go ahead and kind of go around the different places in the world. Where when it comes to nostalgia with Outlands, I have nostalgia for every single zone, but really, it's really definitely the beginning of Hellfire Peninsula that I hold the most nostalgia for. Probably because it's the zone that you always do. But the start of this zone is also a very nostalgic place for me. And of course, some other zones that I am wanting to explore as well, where we have this quest here that we can go ahead and turn in. And then we can pick up this quest, and then we can go ahead and start exploring all around here, where we actually have an outpost over here that I think I'll go and explore before I do any of the quests. So we have the Words of the High Chief, which I got from doing quests in Kalimdor, where I mentioned this again last stream, but I had a lot of fun exploring Kalimdor and leveling up from level 53 to 58 in Felwood and Winterspring, which was a lot of fun as a druid character, because I have a teleport to Moonglade, and then I have my Hearthstone, which is now set to Honor Hold. It was set to Stormwind, but I just returned over to Moonglade with the teleport, or Stormwind with the Hearthstone, and I could go back and forth. And I guess I'll set my Hearthstone here for now, but I'll probably switch it up maybe next stream, of course. But then I made a little bit of gold here, which is nice. But let's go ahead and fly over this way, because we have the Cenarian Refuge here, which is a neutral town that both Alliance and Horde characters come to help out the Cenarian Expedition. But the Alliance and Horde each have 2 outposts in this map, and I guess I'll come over here where we can see, I think it's called Blood Venom Post or something like that, which is a troll outpost, and then they have a giant troll town on the other side. But then there is a broken Kuranai town on the western side that Alliance players go to, but we have the main Alliance place around here, which I forget the name of. Is it Talador or something like that? Oh, a Swamp Rat Post. Where's Blood Venom Post? Okay, let's just take a moment, clickety clack the keys. Post, wow, Blood Venom Post. Oh, that's in Felwood. That's why I was thinking of Blood Venom, because I just talked about Felwood. It is the Horde camp in the center of Felwood, but we explored all that. And let's go ahead and come over here and learn what the name of this location is. But Zangarmarsh is a zone that is filled with mushrooms. There are mushrooms everywhere, and it is just a very cool area with like its own unique aesthetic that I don't think has ever happened again in like the history of World of Warcraft, except like a little bit of vibes going on in Draenor when you come to this area like 35 years before like the events of this expansion or like something along those lines. But we can see that while there are mushrooms all around this zone, giant mushrooms, the Draenei have a base camp built on one of the mushrooms, where we can come here, where this is the main entrance to Telrador, not Talador. I'm gonna do that whole thing again where I go and I Google Talador, and oh, it's Shatrath City. Oh wait, no, it's the zone that Shatrath City is in. So it's an entire zone from Draenor. But we have Telrador, very, very similar. But this elevator here is really cool because it goes up and then it goes over into it. And we can go ahead and come over here and get the flight path. Where a very fun like piece of trivia with Telrador that I like a lot is that the Draenei, of course, on Draenor are in a horrible situation and a position, and this is kind of one of their last refuges in like all of Draenor, where a lot of the Draenei fled to Azeroth, like trying to seek help and whatnot. But because of how bad the situation in Telrador is, there are no food or water vendors that players can come to in order to get food and water, because the Draenei have to keep like all the food and water for themselves, because there are too many mouths to feed, like this quest says right here, where we can go ahead and kind of just help with getting some of like the different ingredients for like food and kind of helping with like all the threats around here, where there's just a lot of quests in Zangarmarsh. And ultimately it's like not a super long zone, where if we come here we only have 54 quests we needed for the achievement. There's a few more than 54 like across like the entire zone, but it's like the smallest zone in Outlands, I think, and probably one of the smallest zones as far as questing goes in like all of World of Warcraft, where I'm going to go ahead and just begin exploring this area here on the eastern end, and we'll kind of just like see how far we can get, how far we can progress over the next like little bit of time, and then I might just kind of like run around the map a little bit and kind of just explore more of the map, where this Marshfang Ripper just got annihilated right there. But we can go ahead and get these Fulgor spores, and I should probably go ahead and buff myself up here. And we also have the Twin Spire Blessings because of the PvP mechanic in this map, which is very similar to like the PvP mechanic, and like the buff you get from it is very similar as well, where this is like the second PvP thing we've seen in Outlands, and there's going to be 2 more after it. But let's go ahead, come over here, and then we can go ahead and fight all of the Rippers, where I think my in-game audio was a little loud last stream, so my apologies for that, but I think it is a little bit better now. But some very interesting news with World of Warcraft released today, where I talked last stream, and I guess I'll recap this a little bit as well for anyone who's watching the stream or the VOD, where we got the roadmap for Cataclysm Classic announced, where we have the pre-patch that is releasing April 30th, which is kind of a big milestone for like my like my streams and stuff, because I'm wanting to do like one final Wrath of the Lich King stream, and I was kind of wanting to like finish all my Outland streams before like April 30th, which is now the date. But I don't think I'm going to have enough time to do all of that, which I think it's like 3-ish more streams after this one, probably maybe 4, and then the additional Wrath of the Lich King one. So I might just go ahead and do like the final Wrath of the Lich King one, and then we can start exploring the pre-patch, and I can start exploring some Outlands things. And as I am playing through Outlands and getting up into like Northrend as well, after I'm done with Outlands, I can try to get to like level 78 for launch day, which is May 20th, which it feels like very soon. But it's like about that time. It's been like quite a bit of time since like the final patch of Wrath of Lich King Classic was released. So it is definitely time to get into Cataclysm. But a very interesting thing about Cataclysm is that while its launch is May 20th, its final patch is January of 2025, which is pretty quick. So like the entire cycle of Cataclysm seems to be like it's going to last like a total of 1 year. Where after the launch, we have the first patch, which is like 4.1, Rise of the Zandalari. It's going to release July 2024, where that introduces like the Zul'Aman and Zul'Grub dungeons turned into dungeons from like the original raids, plus like some different like troll things that are going on. And then in October of 2024, we have Rage of the Firelands, which is another like pretty big patch. It's like one of the main patches. It is 4.2, I think, and that introduces the Firelands, which is actually one of the most popular raids in the history of World of Warcraft, or I think it's like the single most popular raid from Cataclysm, where a lot of people are actually pretty excited about raiding in Cataclysm because people really enjoyed like the raids from that expansion. It's probably like one of the strongest like things about that entire expansion. Where I remember doing a Dragon Soul a lot because Looking for a Raid was added to the game, where I did like Black Moon Descent a little bit, and I think I did whatever the Cho'Gall raid is called, but I remember doing a lot of Dragon Soul. But Dragon Soul is above and beyond the least popular raid from Cataclysm. We actually did it kind of recently on like retail WoW, just running through the game and just like exploring it. And it's definitely not the best raid in the game, where the other Cataclysm raids are a lot more popular. But Hour of Twilight releases January of 2025, that is patch 4.3. And then after Cataclysm, we don't know what's going to be happening after Cataclysm, where of course Cataclysm itself as a whole is not really something that I'm particularly interested in, and anything releasing after Cataclysm is also not something I'm super interested in, but I'm still going to explore it a little bit, mostly for nostalgia's sake, because I played through a lot of Cataclysm and Mist of Pandaria, and I kind of just want to like, you know, walk down memory lane a little bit, but not putting too much time into like those versions of the game. But with what's coming after Cataclysm is kind of interesting, because it was hinted that Mist of Pandaria would be coming like after Cataclysm, so like all the Cataclysm Classic servers would be added or would be turned into Mist of Pandaria servers, and we would like move forward into that era of the game, which is actually an area that I think people are like pretty excited to do. I think for the most part, with like after Wrath of Lich King, people are excited for Cataclysm raids, and then Mist of Pandaria as a whole, and then Legion as a whole, and then every other expansion I don't think people are too interested in. And like all those interests is definitely like significantly less than like the vanilla version of the game as far as like classic goes, and then also Burning Crusade and Wrath of Lich King. So it's going to be really interesting to see like what they do in the future. But today they announced what the Pandemonium like thing on their roadmap that they released like a couple months ago now, I think, was where it is a very interesting like event that is going to be happening in World of Warcraft soon, where we have currently going on the Plunderstorm event, which is basically like World of Warcraft's take / attempt on like the battle royale genre. And I did a whole stream kind of exploring that, and I found it a little bit fun, and it was definitely a little interesting and enjoyable. And I'm kind of interested to see how Plunderstorm evolves in the future as well. But that was like on the roadmap, it was teased with like a skull and crossbones. It was like some sort of like pirate thing. And then we finally figured out what the pirate thing was, because Plunderstorm is like pirates like stealing booty and whatnot, where you play as a pirate as you fight like all the other pirates to get all the plunder. But the Pandemonium event is a return to Mists of Pandaria, but in a very interesting way, because we have like Cataclysm Classic that's coming up, and then we have all the other versions of Classic that will be releasing at some time in the future potentially, and then also all the ones that have happened so far. Spore Wings over here, where this is like some sort of like standalone event that is going to be similar to Plunderstorm, where I think you can like hop into it from like a different version of like the modern WoW like loading screen, where you can like tab over to it, and I think it's going to be available to everyone that has a subscription. but it is going to be like completely separated from like the rest of like modern day World of Warcraft, and it is basically kind of like what Mists of Pandaria Classic would be, where it's kind of like just a full like condensed accelerated experience of Mists of Pandaria, where players can experience like everything to do with that entire expansion, which I think is just like kind of like an interesting thing. Because we have this like whole idea of Mr. Pandaria Classic like potentially releasing in the future, and now we have like this whole thing where they're doing like Mr. Pandaria but like a light version of Mr. Pandaria. And it seems like pretty cool from like basically what they're attempting to have it be. For Mr. Pandaria as a whole is not something that I'm particularly excited about, but I know a lot of people are. And basically you start off as like a level 10 character, and you're like doing like all the quests and all the dungeons and all the raids of Mr. Pandaria, and you're unlocking special rewards, and you can just level up a character. And then when this event is over, your character will be transferred to like official servers where you can play that character in the upcoming expansion, The War Within, and then like whatever else in World of Warcraft. But I'm really interested to see how this is in the future. And it's also like potentially maybe going to be something that's kind of like testing the waters for what like Mr. Pandaria Classic could be, mostly just to like gauge interest / attention, I think, where like if barely anybody plays this Pandemonium event, like it might be like a good like gathering of information for like the devs to see if it's going to be worthwhile to go ahead and explore like Mist of Pandaria Classic, or if they should just like cut off Classic after Cataclysm or whatever. But also the whole idea of like the characters that you create in Pandemonium transferring over to like the retail WoW servers is also really interesting, because that's something that I've been thinking about with like the classic version of the game, because I'm curious about what's going to happen to Classic after like Classic is done. Like say Classic ends in Cataclysm, for example, like are there going to be permanent Cataclysm servers that exist forevermore, and then there's no like Wrath or TBC servers, or are all the Cataclysm characters on Cataclysm servers going to be transferred to retail WoW, where then you can get like all of the toys and special armor and weapons and whatnot that you unlocked like throughout like the classic experience you'll have on your main account. I think that would be very interesting to see like if that comes into fruition in the future. Okay, do I fight Boglash? I think I'm going to skip Boglash. I really want to get to level 62 because I'm interested in seeing, I think Terracore Forest really unlocks at level 62, but it might be 63. So I guess our goal for this stream should be to get to level 63, but maybe even level 64. But I'm also interested with like the Pandemonium event with like Mr. Pandaria, if they're going to do something similar for like other expansions, where I think like picking Mr. Pandaria to be an expansion for an event like this is a really smart idea, because I think there's a good foundation and like a good group of people that are like genuinely interested in like playing through like Mr. Pandaria content again, where I think they could really like do that and like kind of take from the success of like the Legion expansion to have like a pretty solid event that people want to play through, because people really like Legion. But this could also be like an opportunity to go to like some of the other expansions that maybe didn't do as well, where specifically I'm thinking about Warlords of Draenor there, where they could really like make like a seasonal Warlords of Draenor thing that people can play through, where they're just playing through Warlords of Draenor and it's like an accelerated like version of the expansion, and like that could and they could potentially fix like a lot of the issues that people had with Warlords of Draenor, which I think the big part is kind of the content like release cadence of that expansion, where people didn't really like enjoy the like how infrequent the updates to the expansion were, and like that could be completely fixed with like this type of like updates, but also that's like something that could happen with like a classic version of Warlords of Draenor. So it's just kind of interesting to see like what's going to happen with like the future, like classic and like events and whatnot in the future, where I could see like a reality where they do these like random events and whatnot. And I should ask this person to do the escort. But it's going to be really interesting to see how this all changes in the future. This person's not whispering me, but he's like running after me or something. Okay, I'll invite this person. And then we can start the escort. They got the... Okay, they did. Okay, what was I saying? It would be really interesting to see like the future of classic and how like all this unfolds and whatnot, because like I feel like this whole like classic like progression servers into Cataclysm and then like potentially into the future will end one day, and I think there's like a decent foundation for like having like a repeat of the Burning Crusade and like Lich King yet again, where you can like play through like all of the updates one more time, and then like eventually like more and more, and they could just like repeat it over and over, especially since they did a lot of the work, which I guess they would continuously have to do work to like update the game to like the modern like engine updates and whatnot. So maybe it's not worthwhile, but I feel like the classic progression servers are going to end at some point, and maybe that is with Cataclysm, and then maybe they will do like these like special events where you can like really play through like one of the game's expansions and like unlock a lot of like special stuff. Like I think all of the like unlocks from Mist of Pandaria that were available during Mist of Pandaria but are no longer available, you can get during this event, and then you'll have it on your account. So if you missed unlocking some stuff during Mist of Pandaria, you can get it, which is very cool. But if that's like really popular, I could definitely see them kind of taking like all these different like expansions that they've had and kind of just doing special one-off events. Like maybe they'll do like one expansion a year or two expansions a year or something, where you can get all these like special things, and they won't do any more classic like progression servers. But there's like something to say about like how this pandemonium event is going to be like retail WoW balancing and whatnot. So it's not going to be exactly like how it was in Mist of Pandaria, but it's still kind of like a lot of like the Mist of Pandaria experience and stuff. But if they decide to go down that route with like all the different expansions, and they no longer do like classic versions, they'll definitely still have like the vanilla version of the game, which I feel like just returning to having classic being just vanilla might be like the best thing for the game, where they really focus on like just having vanilla era being something that exists, and then hardcore is like a version of that also exists, and then they can experiment with like this whole classic plus thing, where they can do like a few more seasons of like different types of seasons, maybe like season of exploration or season of, I don't know, adventure, season of discovery, just different like synonyms for season of discovery. They can continue. Do you need... You can ask about this. Okay, we can do this quest. But I think they can continue doing like all these different like seasons, and then like really focus or like decide what they want / need to do for like a permanent like classic plus version of the game, where then they could have like retail WoW that has like all of these different like special events with like expansions, and then like all of the other like special events and stuff. like more Plunderstorm seasons, and then of course like the continual development of like World of Warcraft as a whole. And then we can kind of just have like the classic version of the game that's like vanilla forever. And then they can go down like the old school RuneScape like route, and kind of just have like a continual development of like World of Warcraft Classic, where they could like release like expansions for that maybe. But I feel like there's not going to be much opportunity for them, or like a lot of like interest for like something like that in the future. But maybe it could like develop into like something big. And maybe they could do like expansions like every 4 years or something like that, so like a very slow cadence. Where's the boss? It's over here. Okay. But of course, I think vanilla classic is always going to be something that exists, and then retail is obviously going to be something that exists. But I think this whole idea of like classic progression, and then maybe these like expansion experiences that they release and stuff, it'll be really interesting to see what happens in the future. Or I think they could really do like these progression system things. Oh, I'm so dead. This is stressful. Okay. I guess I have to clear. I don't think I died a single time last stream, and then I died here. But yeah, overall, I'm just interested to see like what exactly the future of like re-experiencing expansions is. If it's like continuously releasing like classic progression servers, or doing like these special events like Pandemonium, or doing both. But I think at the end of the day, it's definitely vanilla forever, and then like retail, of course, forever. And it'll be interesting to see if they do actually do like Classic Plus, because like the whole idea of like Season of Discovery, I think, is really just like experimenting and really like pushing like some boundaries with like what classic World of Warcraft can be, to see like how it can be in the future. I need to clear out all of these Naga, so let's go ahead. I need that, and then okay, I'm just clicking buttons like a scrub for some reason. That's a really cool sounding sword, and it's decently cool looking. It has a nice skull on it. It's got a good color scheme. So I guess I could clear them all, I suppose. Let's try to heal here. We can also buff our friend. I guess we could drink, and then we could pull this Taskmaster. I'm level 61. This person's level 61. This is level 63. Elite. We're getting some Naga claws, which is nice. Oh, that Taskmaster decided to just run straight through the boss and to pull the boss. Okay. Can we kill this one? Okay, let's try. Okay, we pulled the aggro, so maybe our mage friend can heal a little bit, and then okay, maybe our mage friend can damage, and I can try to tank. And I have a potion here I can drink to restore some of that health, and let's run. Okay, I tried my best. Let's try to run back really quickly. Where actually, maybe I should have just stayed because the mage might actually kill the Naga. If the mage can just hold the ice block and then blink and then maybe like shield or whatever, as long as the mage stays alive for long enough for me to get back. I don't have any. Could have let the mage die, but and then like battle res, but I don't have the thingy for it. Okay, I'm almost. Oh no. So close, so close. One Naga decided to just run through the boss. It's nice to come across nice people in World of Warcraft. Like, most of the people that play this game is nice, but I feel like you always remember like the super toxic people that are like super racist, and it's always sad to come across those people, but it's always nice to come across a nice person. So I think once you have full mana back, the boss is now alone, and there's no other Naga around here, so we can go ahead and just like full on attack it. And then we don't have a lot of room. Oh, how nice. TY, TY. So once we're back to full mana, I'll pull, and I guess I'll throw this onto my action bar. Alright, oh, I have the water breathing potions now. Which, like, what quests have I completed? Got those two. And then we'll have these two. Okay, let's start with a starfire, and then a fairy fire, and then a moon fire, and then let's let the mage take a little bit of damage, I think. Oh no. What is happening? Okay, let's go bear form. Okay, let's just stun that dude. Okay. I think we should be good. I think the bear form was a little clutch there. Not gonna lie. I feel proud of myself. I shifted into something that wasn't cat form. Kill the judge. There we go. The instant heal is so sweet. Oh, this Taskmaster died. I don't even remember. We like accidentally pulled him with like the two broken, I think. So let's go start clearing out the Naga at the other camp, because we have this Naga camp at the boss and then this Naga camp at the boss. And then I think we have, yeah, another Naga camp over here, and then another one over there. And then, of course, we have, like, the Naga dungeons and raids. Or raid. Individual raid. Where I don't think I ever did raids. I mean, for a fact, I never did raids back during the Burning Crusade Classic, because or like the original Burning Crusade, not Classic, because the maximum level that I reached was like level 55, just in time for Lich King, in order to make a Death Knight character, which was fun. But when the Burning Crusade Classic rolled around, I think the only raid that I really did was Karazhan, which was fun. I remember I did Karazhan, and then in like the Lich King pre-patch, I got the special axe, like the Arcanite Ripper, or I believe it's called. Here are the blood scale. Oh, it says you completed it. Person's so nice. Okay, let's go ahead and do the same thing we did last time, the fairy fire and a moon fire, and then let's go into bear form straight away here, where I'm gonna go ahead and just cancel that, and then we can do that, and then into here. We're actually, oh, not get teleported. I don't think, was I supposed to be able to do that? I did Berserk and Tiger's Fury at the same exact time. Okay, so we did that and that. So much for the help. And, okay. Say have a good evening, and let's bail. Where all 4 of these quests are to be turned into the Cenarian Refuge, so let's return back over there. And then I can go back to fighting the Umbrafen, which I remember I played through the Burning Crusade, and I was like, you know, I played a lot of the Burning Crusade over the years, and like I knew about the Umbrafen, but then I watched a video about, I forget what book it is, but it's a book about Maeve Shadowsong and how she brings like a bunch of night elves to Outlands to basically like follow Elodin around. And it's basically like the novel that covers the events between like Warcraft 3 and like the Burning Crusade. So like it's like a 5-year period or whatever, and it basically like fills in like what happened on Outland, like since we left it in Warcraft 3 and since we come to it in like the Burning Crusade. And I remember being like, I'm not sure if surprised is the correct word, but like it was like a really cool moment to like see that like Umbrafen was in the book, and like they come to like this village and they interact with like all the broken around there, because like I remember like, oh, this is a place that I've been to in like World of Warcraft, and like it's in the book, and it's kind of like one of those like reverse experiences, I feel like, for a lot of people, because I think the book released before the Burning Crusade, and that's kind of something like with Guild Wars and Guild Wars 3 that like happens, like to me, where like for the most part, like a lot of people like back in the day at least like played through Guild Wars 1 and then they're playing through Guild Wars 3, and then they're having like this moment where they're like, oh, this is how this place has changed like 250 years in the future from when I played through this area like back in the day. Or like for me, like I played Guild Wars 2 first, and then like I went back to Guild Wars 1, so I was like having kind of like the same experience but like reversed, where I'm like, oh, I remember this place from Guild Wars 2, this is what it looks like back in the day, and this is how it is in Guild Wars 1. Which I think that's the fun thing about like having multiple pieces of media in like an IP or a universe, that like take place at like different times in like the same area of the world, where like that's a really fun thing about like Guild Wars 1, and then like the like 3 novels in like Guild Wars universe, and then with Guild Wars 2 is you have like a few different like pieces of media where like you learn about like specific places in the world at like different points in time. Like you learn about Lion's Arch a little bit in like the Sea of Sorrows book, and then of course you experience that a lot in Guild Wars 1 and in Guild Wars 2, so it's just a place where you see it like evolve over time. And that's kind of like a big thing with like World of Warcraft, because you have Warcraft 1, Warcraft 2, Warcraft 3, and however many books, it's like over 30 books or whatever, and then you have World of Warcraft and all its expansions. So you have like all these areas in like this world that like you see evolve over time, and like multiple pieces of media. And like same thing with like Halo, you have like all the Halo games, and you have like the Halo offshoots with like Halo Wars, and then you have all these books, and it's just like adds a lot of like lore into the world. Where like I'm really happy Guild Wars 2 has like the 3 books with it, but I really hope like there's more books in the future or whatever, and like, you know, having like a feature film set in the Guild Wars universe I feel like would be cool in like some way. Everyone wants like a video game film, and like most of the time like they end up trash, but like there's obviously like good ways to do it, because there's good video game films out there, and I think it could be fun in Guild Wars, even though that's probably never going to happen. But like more books, you know, it could do like comic series. I really enjoyed they did this a lot during season 1, and they kind of brought it back a little bit with like Iceroot Saga, but they had like short stories that they released, which was a lot of fun. Where with like Iceroot Saga, they had like short stories with like Radak Brimstone, and I think they had one with Kaith, and then they had one with like a third person or someone. And it was just fun to like read through the stories, like the Radak one especially, because you learn how Radak got Sahothan, and you learn like more about like his relationships with like some of the other people in like the Guild Wars universe and whatnot, and it's just like a lot of fun. I don't know. Let's come back over here, and we can do more of the Umbrafin tribe, and we can finish this quest. And then I guess we could fight more Naga, and we can go ahead and... So I need to get the unidentified plant parts, Naga claws, disable all the controls, and then I need to do this Umbrafin quest here. And then we can get Black Sting's Stinger. And then we have to explore some places and then fight some stuff in the lake. And then we can go do some Sporgar stuff too. And there's a lot of broken right here. I need a lot of seers, so this is good. I'll probably be level 62 by the end of this quest, which should be fun. And then, yeah, I'll probably just stick in Zangarmarsh, and I'll try to get to 63, I think. I think that's my big goal. We'll see how long it takes me to get there. But it shouldn't be too long. Maybe only like another hour or so, probably. I think for the most part, we kind of explored like the entire eastern end of Zangarmarsh. Like not all the quests and like all the nooks and crannies and whatnot, but like basically everything over here. But when it comes to nostalgia, I have a lot of nostalgia across all of Zangarmarsh. I feel like Coralfang Reservoir I remember a lot because you have to like swim into it to do like raids and stuff, which I might explore in the future. Yeah, I want to do like nostalgia trip streams where I just want to go do a bunch of like old school dungeons and raids, but like in the modern version of the game where you can just like one shot everything. So we'll probably come through Zangarmarsh again in order to get to those dungeons and raids at some point. Yeah, I've been wanting to explore a lot of the Burning Crusade on streams, and I want to continue exploring more Wrath of Lich King. And then when Cataclysm releases, I'll probably explore some of Cataclysm and whatnot. We could run through all the dungeons and raids there. And then there's the whole like Pandemonium event that I'll probably like participate in a little bit, but I probably won't play a ton of it. And then if Mr. Pandaria Classic ever releases and I'm still playing the game at that point, I might explore it a tiny bit, but probably in the same fashion as Cataclysm, where I don't do too much. I think Outlands is a really fun continent to be like the first expansion to World of Warcraft, because it's so wildly completely different than like all of Azeroth, because they really go with like the alien vibes compared to like Azeroth's like fantasy vibes and whatnot, where like Northrend goes back to like a lot of fantasy vibes, and like I think every expansion except like Draenor and Warlords of Draenor and Legion, I guess, are like pretty fantasy focused. But going into like Dragonflight and then like the whole World So Saga, I think is like not like classical like typical fantasy, like still fantasy, like Outlands is still fantasy, of course, it's just a different type of fantasy. But it's interesting to see like all the different elements of like story told like throughout like all World of Warcraft, and it's like really cool with like the whole idea of like the twisting nether and then like all the other places and like realms and like planets in like the World of Warcraft universe that are like so wildly completely different from each other, and like all the alien races that were like forced into like the Burning Legion and whatnot. Or I think that's like something that the foundation has been laid for in Guild Wars 2, where we can really see like a lot more stuff related to like completely weird, wacky, alien like fantasy worlds, because we've seen like hints to it like time and time again, especially with Soto, where we are exploring like an alien realm in the form of Niles, and then we know there are like probably, you know, infinite amounts of like alien realms out there that we can explore, and it'll be interesting to see like if we ever explore more of those places. But there's just like so many like interesting parts about like Guild Wars 2 that like we can always explore in the future, with like weird things from like from the mists, and then like from weird parts of Tyria itself, like the question mark location in Jahai Bluffs with like the mushrooms and whatnot is a very interesting like part of like the story that's like a big mystery that like I want to make a video on in the future, because it's like very mysterious like what this area is and like where it's from or when it's from, and it's just like something really fun to think about. And it's like interesting to see like maybe there'll be an expansion that kind of focuses on like this mushroom area in the future, because like we had like the whole Wizards Tower thing where people were like, how are they going to do this justice, and they did it justice by making an entire expansion focused around it. Or speaking of mushroom areas, Zangarmarsh, of course, massive mushroom area, where I think that going back to like the alien thing I was just talking about, like that's a big part of like Outlands. That's like really fun, because like having a zone that is full of giant mushrooms is like a really, really cool like idea for a zone, and it's like a very unique idea, and it's like completely different than like everything we see in like Azeroth and whatnot. And like I think for the most part it's very nice to have like those typical classic like ideas of zones with like, you know, snowy mountains or like rolling plains or like deserts and like marshes and whatnot, but it's nice to have like a very wacky, interesting like zones that have like a lot of like character and are like completely unique from like everything else in the game, because one, it breaks up the game, but two, it also allows like a unique experience and also allows like a special level of creativity when it comes to like game design, which I think is always fun. But Zangarmarsh is actually a zone that I talked about kind of when Soda was releasing, because I thought like the ideas of like Zangarmarsh could be like a general like game design idea that can be looked at when it was coming into like the Soda expansion, where with like Nios and like Amnitas and like Skywatch Archipelago, I feel like there was a little bit of a missed opportunity where they could have really focused a lot on like an idea of alien wildlife that exists, where we don't really see that too much in Soto, but really see like sky scales and stuff, which is like a big Soto thing. And then there's like a couple of like special like creatures that are basically like kind of remodels of like creatures we've already seen, and that's like the cryptids as a whole, they're kind of just remodels, which like a lot of people don't like, but like I also don't care too much. But like I thought it would have been really cool to like have like a wide variety of like different alien life in like Soto, where like I looked at Zangarmarsh and like the spore bat over there, and then not the stinger, but we also had like the tall like strider type things that like we could have looked at, but wasn't a big part of the expansion. But maybe in the future with the future expansion. Hello, I hope you are doing well. A wave to you. Let's drink this, and then let's fight some eels. I feel like this quest slash area was a big part of like my child development, because I learned a lot about eels from like asking questions slash like googling stuff, which is like really weird. But I guess it's kind of like a big thing with like World of Warcraft in general, because there's like a lot of elements that if you don't know like certain elements, a lot of it is like grounded in reality, where like these eels fascinated me because I was like wondering if they're like they electrocute people in real life, and then there's like a whole lot of stuff related to like eels that I kind of forgot pretty much everything about, but I remember learning a lot about them. Unfortunately, in real life, there are not entire countries filled with giant mushrooms, which I feel like is a missed opportunity for whoever created Earth. We could have had mushroom cities. Maybe science will get to a point where we can grow the mushrooms to be super big. It could be a new food source and like a new like building material source. So I need a few more eel fillets, and then we can fight hydras, and then I guess we can go do more Naga stuff. I could go explore the ruins really quickly, and then we can turn on all the quests, and then go do the Deadmire, and then I suppose we could explore some of the western parts of the map. Whereas we get to the end of the stream, I'll make sure to go explore every corner of the map so we can get the achievement. The next area that I want to explore is Terrakar Forest, which is a really fun zone that I like a lot and has like a lot of fun storylines. So we might end up spending like 2 streams in there actually, where I'll do one stream that's like a lot of Terrakar, and then start off a second one with a little bit of it, and then we can go into Nagrand, where I do another Nagrand stream probably, because Nagrand is another zone that I want to spend a lot of time in. I'm interested to see how the leveling experience in Cataclysm is going to be, because we saw with like World of Warcraft, we had like each expansion added on to like the previous one, and then I think there was a lot of attention like to like the problems with this during like Mist of Pandaria, when I like stopped playing the game a lot, where like in order to get through Mr. Pandaria, you would have to quest through Cataclysm, and in order to get through Cataclysm, you would have to quest through Lich King, and in order to get to Lich King, you'd have to quest through Outlands, and in order to get to Outlands, you would have to quest through like the old world, which is like turned into like the Cataclysm zones and whatnot. My voice is breaking. I need water. Which, like, that's just like a lot of content to get through in order to get to like in-game content, where now we see with the modern version of World of Warcraft, the leveling experience has completely changed, where you can really do like a lot of things in order to level up, or you can choose like an expansion. But now we kind of see where you can like choose like the legacy expansions, and then you get to like level 60 or whatever, and now once you're 60 you play through Dragonflight to get to 70, I think. And then it'll be interesting with the War Within, because I think they're adding on to like Dragonflight, where you have to play through Dragonflight and then you have to play through War Within. So it'll be interesting to see like if that's actually the case, or if they're going to be changing it, or if they're going to change it in the future, like how they rebalance everything again. It's kind of one of those like perpetual problems with like World of Warcraft, because they've done many stat squishes over the years, and by many like 4. But like if there weren't any stat squishes, if there weren't level squishes, and if there weren't like this whole like overhaul to leveling, in order to play through Dragonflight content, you would have to play through Shadowlands content. So no one would make it to Dragonflight. But in order to get to Shadowlands, you have to play through BFA, and then through BFA you have to do Legion, and then you have to do Warlords of Draenor, and before that you have to do Mr. Pandaria, and before that you have to do Cataclysm, then Lich King, Burning Crusade, and then the old school like Cataclysm zones. So that's like so much content to like play through to get through Dragonflight, where like it obviously makes sense that like they eventually changed it. I think it was with the Warlords of Draenor they added time walking, or was it Legion? I forget. But also like if they didn't do the stat squishes, you know, you would be dealing like billions or trillions of damage per hit, which is just like an obscene amount of like numbers for like the average person to comprehend when it comes to like normal gameplay. But like that's always going to be reality for like World of Warcraft, because of how it's structured, where like you're always going to have to do stat squishes if you want to keep the numbers like a reasonable amount, and you're always going to have to make like expansions be like legacy expansions. Like that's just what World of Warcraft is, where I think a lot of people nowadays really don't enjoy that model, like in the MMORPG, where we see stuff like Elder Scrolls Online and like Guild Wars 2 be very like popular models, where it's a lot of like horizontal progression, where you have some vertical progression to get to like the max level in each game, level 80 in Guild Wars 2, I think it's level 50 in ESO, and then at that point you unlock like the entirety of the game, and you can go to like each expansion and like all the different updates for each expansion, and explore all the different parts of the world as you want to horizontally. And then they never have to be afraid about that content becoming legacy content, because it's obviously going to be relevant content. But there's benefits to like this whole like vertical, like continuous vertical expansions and progression, because it's obviously worked for World of Warcraft and other games over the years. But I think it's like one of those things where like people value one or the other a lot, where I think I'm someone that like really values like the horizontal progression systems, which might be one of the reasons why I play like so much Classic WoW, because like there's not going to be a lot of new content added on after level 60, unless we see the whole like old school Classic Plus, or whatever you want to call it, release in the future, potentially with like whatever information they gain from Season of Discovery and like other seasons, like the Season of Mastery, and new ones in the future. Where I do think there is like a good foundation for that to happen, because we see it all with like old school RuneScape, with the whole like continuous expansions added to old school RuneScape, and then to like normal RuneScape as well. 2 more eel fillets, 1 more eel fillet, and then we can go fight the hydras and the Naga. Okay, last eel fillet. So I think next up is going to be hydras, where I just love having flight farm. Where I don't think I actually showed it, but you can land with flight farm, and then you can land with flight farm. I'll do it over here. I'll do it on top of the mushroom, and then the bird just hangs out there, so you can like perch at like different areas of the world. There we go. Just hang out on top of the mushroom, and then we can go fight the hydras underneath the mushroom. Where I need 9 more. Where this isn't like the eel fillet quest where you have to like kill the eels and hope to get an item. You can just kill 10 hydras straight up for this quest, which you only need 9 more. I might go do a lot of the Sporegar quests with the mushroom people. I'll help us get to level 63. I do forget, I'm pretty sure a lot of Terracar stuff unlocks at 62. We have Thin the Flock, where you can fight some of the Arakoa. Oh yeah, I think there's a fishing trainer near the Cenarian Refuge that you can chat with to fish in like this area. Well, not like specifically to fish in this area, but you can get some supplies there, which is convenient if you are fishing in this area. I really like the cooking and fishing quests that were added with the Burning Crusade, because 1, they're fun, but 2, they also laid the groundworks for the ones added in Wrath Lich King, which I love a lot. And then the ones in Cataclysm are also pretty fun. I guess Mr. Pandaria did Professions pretty well too. Especially cooking and fishing. Let's ignore this eel. Let's come fight this hydra. Getting some clams we can open up. I kind of want to ignore that hydra over there because this eel is just swimming around him, but looks like they're kind of separated right now. So let's rush over here. Leap in. And back up a little bit. As you use this. Oh yeah, I totally bugged it earlier. I wonder if you can like consistently bug that, or is that an exploit? Where you're not supposed to be able to use these 2 skills at the same time, but I somehow managed to do it while we were fighting the boss earlier. Which I guess was nice during the boss. But like you deal double damage with this, and then you like deal like more damage with this, so it just like scales pretty hard, which is nice. But it's unintentional. I have a lot of nostalgia with like my Death Knight character that I played, because I remember hanging out a lot at the Cenarian Refuge, and then I remember doing the dungeons over here on that Death Knight character when I was like leveling, like way back in the day. Or I think I remember from that character, I really remember only Zangarmarsh really, and then in Outlands I remember like Hallian Fjord a tiny bit, but mostly Ice Crown and Dragonblight, funnily enough. Here's Juno Dufresne, Master Fishing Trainer.
How are you?
Can buy a shiny bauble. Okay, last Hydra we need. And this Warden is sprinting from all the way over there, and I might not get credit for this kill. Oh, okay, I did. How nice, how nice. Okay, so that's a few quests completed. So let's come turn all of them in here. And we have more we can turn in at Telbrador. But I'm going to turn this in, and then this is a repeatable one where we can get more Cenarian Expedition reputation. And then we got package of identified plants, where we got common flower, edible ferns that we can actually eat and it gives us buff, and then common Azerothian species. This plant was probably carried through the dark portal by someone from Azeroth. Interesting. Turn in this quest and we leveled up to level 62. And then we can save the Sporelocks now. And then we have Safeguarding the Watchers. What's this quest? Oh, for the boss in that area. We'll probably go check out the area, but I'm not sure if I want to do those quests. Oh, but we have... I think I'm going to put this new talent point that I got from leveling up to level 62. I'm going to put it into here. So you'll keep energy when you shapeshift into cat farm. Where I think once we have this full rank, we'll get 100% chance for 100 energy when we come into cat form, which is going to be super nice. That's like one of my biggest issues right now with this build. So that should alleviate a lot of my pain. And then we can go into like the whole shape-shifting things. So that should be nice. So I'm excited to unlock more of these build elements, which I think is going to completely change with Cataclysm Classic. So we'll see how we want to do things differently. We got our 20 energy. 20% chance for 20 energy, which is just very interesting. You need like 5 points to unlock it all. Okay, almost killed this dude. And then let's use this. And then I guess we can fight this Naga. I guess we could fight just a few Nagas in each area, and then we could maybe just go around and kill a few more Nagas in like the last area until we get all the claws we need. But looking at Terakar, it looks like we have unlocked all the quests here. So I guess we could start exploring Terakar Forest next stream, no matter what. Whether or not we get to level 63. Okay, let's go over here where we can do the lagoon controls. And then we could stop by Telbrador. Looks like we have some new quests we can pick up. One of which takes us further west into Zangarmarsh, which I want to do this stream. And one of which takes us to the Alarian Stronghold in Terakar Forest. Where I was talking about like the books with like World of Warcraft and like how Umberfen Village is like in the book, and that's the same with like Honorhold, Alarian Stronghold, and then like Wildhammer Stronghold, where like those are all places that are established during like Warcraft 2 / like in the book, and it's just like really cool that you can like experience them like here in the Burning Crusade, and like they're like big parts of like Warcraft 2, which I don't think they were like explicitly named, but they were in the book. A different book than the one I read. No, I think Alarian Stronghold I think was mentioned in that one book, but this is mostly for the book that's basically just documenting the events of Warcraft 2. Which I think is kind of cool that they made a book that was like just like going over the events of like Warcraft 2 so you could read the story, and it's like a little bit more of an advanced story or like fleshed out story than like Warcraft 2 was. Which I think they also did with like Halo, the first Halo. Halo First Strike, I believe is the book name, which is basically just the events of the first Halo game, Halo Combat Evolved. Okay, so we have one pump system over there where I think maybe I'll come do some, I'll get this one, and then we could do some of the quests over here before we head west. And I can pick up all these quests as well. So I still need 20 more Naga Claws. And then I think this is just fighting the giants, but we'll probably also have to fight some hydras over there as well, which might slow us down a tiny bit. Let's fly super high up. And give us that. And then go back into flight form. You could kill a few Naga around this area as well. I feel like these overseers are pretty tanky, but they're also like the same level as me. So it's a little bit more challenging than fighting enemies that are a couple levels lower than you. I wonder what the best spot to fight the Naga is for this quest. Because it's annoying to fight like all the slaves around here. My reputation with both the Cenarian Circle. I have the Winter Saber's reputation, which I think is actually going away with the pre-patch or whatever, where you can get the Winter Saber mounts through a quest chain. A small group of reclusive night elves raises and trains Winter Sabers in the Winter Spring area. But we have Cenarian Circle. The druids of Cenarian Circle are guardians of nature and make their home in tranquil Moonglade. But then, so we're friendly with them, but then we are still neutral with the Cenarian Expedition, an exploratory force sent to Outland by the Cenarian Circle to study surviving life forms. The Cenarian Circle has quickly gained in size and autonomy since the opening of the Dark Portal. Oh, where did this overseer come from? Okay, can we get the proc here? Oh, I just got drain schematics. I forgot that was a quest. We can bring this back to the Cenarian Refuge for a reward, which is nice. Which I think this is a pretty decent area to fight Naga, actually. Let's come fight the ones over here. Can make some good progress on our Naga Claws quest. A warm welcome. I appreciate how it's raining right now in Zangarmarsh. I think it's a very nice vibe. Okay, let's fight this one, and then I'll go turn in all the quests I have and pick up those new ones. Or did I accept this quest? I did. It's not showing up on my map. Oh, we have to go explore the drain. That's why it's not showing up on my map over there. We have to come do something. So let's run over here. And I guess we could just swim down as far as we need for it. Serpent Lake. I guess since we're over here, we could go ahead and just go get this Naga quest and then return so we can have like completed all of that. And then we can go over to the western side. Let's go into our aquatic form and swim down the drain. Located the drain, can't swim up. And I'll go down the drain in a future stream when we explore the dungeons and raids of the Burning Crusade. Let's go ahead and fly this way. Can make a pit stop on top of one of the mushrooms, like right here maybe, so we can buff up really quickly and heal a tiny bit. And then let's go ahead and fly straight to this Naga camp. And then you can decide if you want to continue killing Nagas for a warm welcome over here, or if you want to come back over here to fight Nagas. This was a nice place. And then we can turn in all the quests, pick up these, and then we can make our journey to the western side. Where I guess I'll go check out this cave really quickly, even if I'm not going to do the quest down there. Where we have done 13 of the 54 quests in Stranglethorn. And then if we come into exploration and Outlands here. I don't think we need to explore that one area specifically. But here's the main big horde troll camp, Zabra Jin. Oh, here's the guards mark. I was talking about that last episode. But it's a really cool camp where the trolls have built like their fortifications and their guard towers and some of their buildings like on or like into the mushrooms a little bit, on the mushrooms, along the mushrooms. Where there are a ton of Naga here. So let's go ahead and start fighting this one. Where they are definitely higher level than the ones we have been fighting. But as long as we fight them like one at a time, we should be fine. Hopefully we'll get a lot of claws here. Marshlight Lake. I think it's like almost a 100% drop for the Naga claws, but it's not like an explicit 100% drop. It's like a 95 or something. So you can get really unlucky and like not get any claws when you kill a Naga. But I think for the most part, it's a guaranteed drop. Maybe it is 100% and I'm just losing it or something. Let's come fight the Pump Overseer. There's a ton more Naga around here without too many of those broken. So I think this is a good spot to fight a bunch of them. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this build that I'm playing. I feel like the talents I picked have like really good synergy with each other. And it's nice to like, the build is like kind of hybrid with like a lot of like healing stuff going on, and then like the normal like DPS with like the cat form. Am I going to be attacked? There we go. I didn't see the overseer spawn, so I thought like I wasn't going to be attacked for a second. But then he came out. Let's come over here. Maybe I'll open up on the Enchantress. There's another Enchantress, and then the slave driver is going to fight. So this is a bit of a big fight where all these mobs are 2 levels higher than me. But should hopefully be fine. Get the proc. Let's get 2 Moonfires off. And then get some rejuvenation. Back in here. Pop another buff. And I can always use a healing potion. Oh. Cannot click that in time. I got hit by like 2 crits there. Unlucky. Just run back this way. And then yeah, I guess we can just hang out in this area. I'll finish the quest and then we can fly back over here and do what I said earlier with like turning these in and doing this quest and exploring down here. I feel like all the Outland stories kind of like feel confusing on like the surface level, but if you like learn what's going on here, it like makes a lot of sense. Because like a bunch of Naga being around Zangarmarsh like doesn't really make a lot of sense, but it does make a lot of sense if you understand like the Naga ally themselves with like Kael'thas and Illidan, and they all came to Outland together and they're trying to like gain control of Outland so that they can have like a strong presence against the Burning Legion so that they can fight the demons. Where they're trying to control like all the people of Outlands, and Zangarmarsh is like one of the central like or like the biggest and like for the most part like the only water source for like most of the people of Draenor. So they're trying to take like all the water here so they can control all the water, so they control the people. But it's also kind of like an affront to nature, which is why the Cenarian Expedition are here. Where I remember it was like an official like video. I'm not sure if it was like made by Blizzard or if it was just like published by Blizzard, but it was Nomergon News Network, which was as the Burning Crusade was releasing, and it was like a bunch of like random story beats related to like the world of Outlands and like the stories going on here. Where they had like a fun like story segment about Zangarmarsh and like the Cenarian Expedition being here. That whole kind of thing with like sketch comedy is kind of something that I've been thinking about a little bit, because it's something I've always wanted to do, but maybe I need to take the initiative and make some sketches. But I think sketch comedy in general is not super popular anymore, especially in like video games. And like I don't want to come off as cringe, I guess, but if it's fun, it's fun. one more Naga Claw. Okay, 30th Naga Claw obtained. It's quite a few Nagas. So let's go ahead, return back to the eastern side, and I'll finish things up over here, and then I guess on the way not on the way that way, not through the Horde Town. Let's go around, but we can grab these two things on the way back as well. Yeah, I definitely don't think I'm going to be able to get everything in Outlands done before the pre-patch, but maybe we can get it done before launch day. But also, I might just continue exploring stuff in Cataclysm. We can continue to return here. You know, worst case scenario, we can always explore some stuff in the modern version of the game. But Cataclysm will be around for a year, so we'll be able to explore this stuff. The Bohamu Ruins. Outer Kurudi. How far in do we need to go? Okay, we got the quest. And then I guess we can just fight these two druids really quickly. And we're druids ourselves when they transformed into like an owl form, which is fun because you can't do that as a player character. Regrowth. We can use our finisher. Oh, they did not finish him. There we go. Okay, now we need to fight the boss over here. Currently at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Seem to be 7 quests we can turn in. So somewhere around here. Oh no. This Death Knight just killed him. Okay. Let's take a moment to, well, probably will respawn really quickly, I guess. Well, here are the Finstriders I was talking about earlier. The long stalker-esque creatures. Let's land here, buff up a little bit. And then hopefully this respawn timer isn't too long. I guess we could just fight a couple creatures in the area to gain some experience. Maybe I should run over here and then run back. I feel like that's a lot of like random running. It could be a very long respawn timer. Let's do that. I'll just watch behind me as I do so. And then let's check out the cave down here, saving the Sporelocks. Or I don't think I'm going to do these quests. I think I'm going to skip them. because I don't want to go all the way to the back of the cave for the belongings. But we can explore the spore locks a little bit in a few minutes when we go further west into Zangarmarsh. But this is like the first area where you get to meet them and kind of help them out a little bit, where they are members of the nation of Sporgar. And they are being attacked by the marsh lookers. But Fungor Cave, we've explored that. Was that on here? It was not on here. But let's go turn in, or maybe we should fly back this way. Presumably, Blacksting is alive. Go ahead and complete the quest. I don't think I'm going to reach 63 tonight, but I'll be most of the way there. And we can reach it next stream when I go through Terrakar. Alright, I want to do Zangarmarsh, Terrakar, and the Grand Shadow Moon, because I've explored a lot of Blaze Edge and Netherstorm. Now we could run around Blaze Edge and Netherstorm a little bit on the last stream maybe, just so we can get the meta achievement here for Explore Outland. It could be fun. Okay, let's be on the lookout for this boss. There he is. Let's just Moonfire to tag really quickly. And then let's pop all our buffs here. And annihilate him. Okay. Now let's return to Telbrador. We have 7 quests to turn in, so that should be a good amount of experience. Maybe we'll reach level 63. I think Telbrador is one of my favorite towns in the game just from like the aesthetics of it. It's kind of going back to like Zangarmarsh being a very special and unique zone because it's like filled with mushrooms, where Telbrador is a very special and unique town because it's on top of one of those giant mushrooms. Slash like built into it a little. But we have so many quests we can turn in. It's been a while since I turned one in. Start collecting those wings from all the different creatures. Got a member of the Explorers League here with an upgrade to my gloves. I'll decide later if I want to do that quest. And then we can go to Alarian Stronghold. And then let's come over here. Turn in these quests. Or we can kill some of those creatures along the way. Umbra Glow Stinger. There's a few different varieties where we can get this. Diaphanous wings from. Like on the eastern edge, which would probably be nicest because like the zone, just like Hellfire Peninsula, is kind of structured like east to west for the most part, where the eastern side of the zone is like the lowest level, and then it becomes higher and higher as you go west and west. Where we were fighting the Nagas near Marshlight Lake here, and they were like level 64, where these mobs around here are level 60. read it. There's one of the wings. I feel like all the quests in Zangarmarsh are very dense and compact. It's like a good questing area. Like the zone itself is like pretty small. It's probably the smallest zone in all Outlands, but still quite a few quests to do. What do I want here? I feel like this is an upgrade. Warning the Cenarian Circle. So we can run into Hellfire to warn that Cenarian Circle, like liaison.
Peace, friend. Go in peace. Goodbye.
And we are now friendly with the Cenarian Expedition, and we got Volatile Healing Potion, restores from 1050 to 1750 health, which is definitely a lot more than the current pretty low level healing potion that I have, because I used all my higher level ones. We have the major healing potion, which is the same as the volatile, but we can meander back into Hellfire Peninsula for just a moment so we can turn in this quest, which if you look back over here, I guess here 475 out of 500, but then in the Zangarmarsh we completed 20 quests, so like less than half of the ones we've done in Hellfire, but we're not done yet. And now we can return to the marsh. So I think, oh, that did not give us one of the quests, I think. Oh, it did give us. We're at 21 now, 22 after we complete this one. And we're halfway to 63. So, Blessing of the Ancients. So, we can pick up this quest and we can do it really quickly. Where we have the Ancient of Lore and the Ancient of War, who are really cool to see here because they're like Warcraft 3 units kind of, and we see like these different ancients, like in vanilla of course, and then repeated throughout all World of Warcraft. We have these buffs here, and then I can buff myself up with my druid stuff. And then my special buffs that I got from the Blasted Lands, which I didn't do on stream on this character, but I did in my Let's Play series. They are not available to be used right now. They're still on cooldown. But we have two quests that we can pick up. One which takes us westwards, and then one that takes us to Terrakar Forest as well. And then we can turn in this quest where... I feel like this is overall an upgrade, but it's not really an upgrade for like a Feral Druid. And then we can go to the Corfane Reservoir if we wanted to, but I don't think I'm going to do that. Speaking of that, we can get rid of saving the Spore Locks and safeguarding the Watchers, and then there's one more. A damp dark place. There we go. So let's come fight some of the giants, and then we can continue getting the wings. And then I'll probably skip Idols of the Feral Fin as well. That was fun. I like came out on my bird form and I did flip mid-air and then turned into my cat form. So let's complete these 2 quests, and then I think I'll officially head to the western end where we can explore the last reaches of this map. It's definitely going to take us a moment to get through these 2 quests. Set up in my chair correctly. Check your posture. Drink some water. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Withered giants. I do feel bad for like all the like wildlife that's been corrupted in like video games and like World of Warcraft and like Guild Wars 2 and every other video game. Definitely some sadder storylines. Now there's a lot of mobs around here that I don't need to fight for quests, so I'm kind of just trying to like zigzag through them a little bit. Oh, I just got another quest item here. We can bring it back to Telrador. So that's like a free quest. Oh yeah, we'll definitely hit 63 before the end of the stream. What was I thinking earlier? I just noticed our experience bar is at 61%. We have like the adamantite deposit right there. It's kind of an expensive ore, but not so much anymore in Lich King because it's kind of irrelevant now. Let's just pull this one this way. Osmosis. I think we'll need these Boglord tendrils for a quest that we're about to do. So it's fun we're getting some of these items right now, actually. Just got another one. Okay, I need 3 more of the withered giants. I see 2 over here. 3 over here, 4 over here, 5 over here. Six. There's plenty. Finish this, and then I'll go hunt for more wings, and we can return to Telverdor. Let's pull this one away. Are these boglords going to wander this way? Okay. Finish with that quest. That went by pretty quickly, actually. And then let's find some of the diaphanous wings. Gosh. Is it even worth to like come all the way over here? There's one. There's some basilisks. Marsh rock stomper. There's our rag veil. Herbalism plant. I don't think I have any profession skills on this character. I don't. Got another one. Very nice. I think this is probably the last quest in this area that I'll complete. Because we have a few quests to turn in over here and a few quests I want to check out. And then we can explore the last few corners of this map that I haven't explored yet. Nice. Halfway done. Fly this direction. Hopefully we can find more on the outskirts over here. Wish I need to buff myself up there. Any of you over here? There's one. I'm very excited to continue going down the restoration tree now that I've completed the feral tree. I'm very excited to see how this build will play at, like, when we're close to like level 80. I'll probably play this character going into Cataclysm, so level 85-ish. Nice. We got really lucky with our last few kills there. We have every single quest we currently have in our quest log is completed, and we can turn in 2 of which are to like run over to these areas, but 4 are to turn in at Telrador. So we should be pretty close to level 63 after we turn these in.
May your days be long. Warm wishes to you. Be kind to those less fortunate. Dionys Akar.
So yeah, I think I'm going to skip this quest. We can just fight Hydras and Bog Lords over there.
Each day is a blessing. Remember the lessons of the past.
And then, oh, the Faded Trim one. This is to go to Terrakar. So we have 2 quests in our quest log are to come this way. So I think I'm done exploring the eastern side of Zormgar. So for the next like half a hour, I guess, let's come do a few things over here on the western end, and we'll get to level 63, and we can just explore the final areas here, where we have completed 26 out of 54 of the quests here in Zangarmarsh. Where the eastern side is really like the side of Zangarmarsh I care a lot about and have like a lot of nostalgia for. But the southwestern corner, unlike all the other areas, but especially the southwestern corner, is pretty cool. Where Zormgar is kind of like a big crossroads in Outlands, where we have the entrance to Zormgar Marsh, or Zangarmarsh. Zormgar, Zangar. What is Zormgar? I think that's like a specific thing. Oh, that's in, yeah, Ashenvale. In Zangarmarsh, it's getting late. We have the entrance to Hellfire Peninsula, and then on the southern mountain like chain right here, we have 2 entrances into Nagrand, and then we have an entrance into Terrakar Forest. And then on the northern end, we have 2 entrances, which are cave entrances into Blade's Edge Mountains, which is very cool. I also like how it says Blade's Edge on the map here and Terrakar when it's Blade's Edge Mountains and then Terrakar Forest. You just have the shorthand on the map when you're in Zangarmarsh. Same thing with Netherstorm and Hellfire. Oh, in Shadowmoon Valley it says Terrakar Forest, but it says Terrakar in every other map. Okay, Count Ungula. Let's pick up this quest item. Because we turn this in to where we are going. So let's do the few quests around here related to the Sporelings. So we have a small Cenarian expedition post right here. Oh, there's a lot of starving fungal giants wandering around. But we have Watcher, Lisa, O, and Buddy. Turn in these 2 quests. And then we can come talk to our Sporling friend over here, where we have 2 quests that we can get. Where we currently have 3 of the Boglord Tendrils, which is nice. But we have these glow caps here, which are a currency for Sporegar, where this is basically like our initiation into Sporegar, basically, where we are becoming friends with the Sporelings, which are like these fun little mushroom creatures right here. But this area is known as the Spawning Glen, and we have like all these Sporegar spawns right here that are being attacked by the fungal giants, so we can go ahead and help everyone out here and fight the fungal giants and kind of get some of these mature spore sacs. Getting these spore stacks as a druid is so nice because we can just do well in fight form. But then of course to fight the fungal giants we'll go into our cat form. But the enemies over here are definitely a bit more powerful compared to the ones on the eastern end, like we saw with the Naga earlier. But these bog lords are definitely pretty strong. Level 64, 2 levels higher than us. Soon to only be 1 level higher. But we do need to get 3 bog lord tendrils, so we might end up spending quite a bit of time just fighting right here. Hang on to this glow cap so we can potentially use it at the vendor. I forget how much experience you get from doing these, or reputation from doing these quests in Wrath Lich King, because you used to have to do like 6 of them or something in order to like gain enough reputation with Sporgar to be able to go talk to everyone. We are gaining like 15 reputation per kill right now, which I think it used to be 5. There's one of the tendrils. Need 2 more. Yeah, the Sporgar spawns are humanoids, so there's just like a ton of icons on my map right now because I can see humanoids. Somebody help, our young are in peril. I am helping right now. But Sporgar are part of kind of a fun reputation-based achievement, because if you come into reputations here, we have the Burning Crusade reputations where there are a ton of them, and you can gain the Czar of Sporgar, where you get exalted reputation with them. But if you come into like the meta achievements for like reputations in Wrath Lich King, we actually have some like fun achievements here where we have the Guardian of Cenarius, which is actually like would be a really fun achievement for me to go for, but I probably won't. But we can gain exalted reputation with the Cenarian Circle and the Cenarian Expedition, and we can get the Guardian of Cenarius title. And then there's a similar thing with the Arch of Dawn and the Arch of Crusade, where we can get the Arch of Champion, and then there's an achievement for just gaining a bunch of reputations to exalted, and then for each of the 5 home cities. But then we have the Diplomat, which is an achievement to gain exalted with Timber Mahold and with Sporgar, and then it changes for Horde or Alliance, where for Alliance it's to become exalted with the Kurenai, and then for the Horde it's to become exalted with the Magheart Orcs, which I really like that achievement because those are like 4 technically of my favorite factions in all World of Warcraft, and like some of my favorite reputation farms as well. Or I really love Timber Mahold reputation, and like just fighting a bunch of like the corrupted furbolgs to like cleanse the area, and then to like bring all the feathers and like beads back. And then Sporgar and the Kurenai / Magheart is also really fun. The Magheart and Kurenai one is mostly killing like ogres, I think, but Sporgar has like a wide variety of different quests you can do, where you can turn this in. And we got 750 reputation with Sporgar, which means we are at 2300 right now. Which I think, if you just come back over here, actually let's go turn in this quest first. We could go ahead and redo one of those quests again, because we can do it again And that'll get us to like the next level of reputation, I think. I have a glow cap here. But let's turn in this quest, and this should bring us to level 63, which is fun. And then we can get to discard a nutrient from Quag Ridge, which I guess we could run into here really quickly, because I think we need this for Zangarmarsh. Oh, we already got it. Okay. But I don't think I'm going to do that quest. Where, yes, we are now level 63, which means we have a new talent point, and I'll go ahead and throw it into this talent point. Or that talent, not talent point. But let's come back over here, and then we could just fly around with our druid form for a second and just gather a bunch more of these spores. We get to 10, should be all we need. I have not cleaned out my entire inventory. My stomach was freaking out there for this entire stream. So it's very messy right now. Oh yeah, but we are at the edge of Outlands, where we started on like the other edge all the way over here in Hellfire Peninsula. But now we can see like the western edge over here as it drops into the Twisty Nether, which is fun. Here's another one of those rag veils. And then I need 3 more, 2 more after this one. Or I think we could collect the spore sacks, and then we can sell them on the auction house, which is fun. But I'll just gather the amount I need, which this is the last one. And let's come turn this in. And then I think we will have increased our reputation with Sporgar enough to be able to go chat with them at their little town over there. More spore sacks. And yes, we have completed that, and we're now neutral with Sporgar. So we can return these items over here. And then there are a bunch of quests that we can do. But I don't think I'm going to do too many of them, at least. But we could gather these glow caps while we are here. So this is Sporgar, a very fun mushroom village filled with mushroom people. And they're doing a lot of stuff with mushrooms. Turn in this. And then we have this quest to get 10 glow caps. So we could run around and collect a bunch of them, one of which is right here. But then we have this quest. Oh, it's on. Which is to go do a dungeon, which I don't think I'm going to do. But apparently I did this on my Warlock way back during the Burning Crusade Classic, because I have this item on my Warlock. And then this is another dungeon quest that I'm not going to do. Where these actually reward quite a bit of experience. But then we have in here, we have fertile spores, which is to get fertile spores from the spore bats, which I think I'll skip doing, because I think I'm gonna wrap up stream a little bit soon. But we have a friendly fungal giant, where he does not want to eat them, and he hates the naga, and he likes the sporelings. But let's come find some of these glow caps. We need 5 more after this one. There's one over there. They're so bright and orange you can see them from far away, which is nice. They're called glow caps for a reason. But this is the main currency for Sporgar, so you have to like run around the swamp or fly around and collect a bunch of them. Which I think I'm just going to get enough for the quest. But I'll go chat with the vendor. Need this one, and then do I see another one? There's one. Oh, there's two of them right here. I'll just come grab this one, I suppose. Here are the greater spore bats you could fight if you wanted to for that one quest. Where I think we don't need the quest in order to like collect the items, but you know, it's nice to have the quest so you can keep track, not from your inventory. Okay, let's turn in this quest. Glow cap mushrooms complete, and then we can continuously turn this quest in to get some reputation. Where we are like halfway, just over halfway to friendly. Where did we gain reputation? Oh yeah, we did gain reputation when we turned in the quest to come talk to the people at Sporgar, which is fun. But here's the Sporgar quartermaster. You can get a sporling snack, clam bar, march lichen, tostock mushroom, red cap, toadstool, muck-covered drape, which is a cape item. That reduces your threat to enemy targets within 30 yards, making them less likely to attack you, which is interesting. Lichen shield, sporling's fire stick, petrified lichen steel, hardened stone shard. Can get the recipe to transmute primal earth to water. Or Micah's botanical bag, which is a 28 slot herb bag for tailoring. Need 4 primal mooncloth and 2 fell lotus. Or you can get the shrouding potion, shrouds you from nearby enemies so you seem less threatening to them. Or you can get the tiny spore bat, which is a companion pet that will like run around with you, and the Sporgar tabard, which is a tabard that has a mushroom on it, which is very fun. So I think that's everything that I want to do over here at Sporgar. So let's go ahead and explore the final few areas of Zangarmarsh, where right off the bat we have another one of the portals that Ner'zhul and like the Outland Horde used in order to like go invade a bunch of like other worlds and to like explore them. Portal clearing, or they mostly just ransack the worlds. Hello, I hope you're doing well this evening. Kind of wrapping up stream soon, but I'm glad you could come in and hang out for a little bit. I'm just exploring some of Zangarmarsh and kind of going down a bit of a nostalgia trip, and also leveling up a druid character, which is always fun. But then we have a bunch of ogre camps around here at the Zangarmarsh grounds, and then we have the Zangarmarsh stronghold over there. Where, yeah, I think I know where the last 3 things are, which is one's right here and last 2 is right there. But this is fun because it's like a giant fallen mushroom that's acting as a bridge to get to like this floating island over here. And then we have a bunch of ogres around here. We have a cave that I remember you have to do a lot of questing in to fight a bunch of ogres, and then you need to gain like get like wooden crates from all around this area. And then I think there's a boss in this building, Overlord Gorefist, and then there's like a big boss in the cave as well, I think. Well, let's fly back this way. Where it's very interesting that they just have like the stars here on like the map, which I think is in every single piece of map art. They just have like the kind of like drawn stars. Where of course Outlands is a very big, oh, not in Shadowmoon Valley. They have stars in every single map art except in Shadowmoon Valley. Very interesting. But of course Outlands is a very kind of like space themed continent. Daggerfin Village, get 1,000 experience for exploring this. And then we have this bog here where the ogres are cutting down all the mushrooms. Another affront to nature, just like how the Naga are sucking up all the water in this zone. But we have one final area that we have not yet explored. And that is the final Alliance town in this zone, where we can actually meet the Kurenai for the first time. And where we might actually want to do some of the quests around here to gain reputation with them, but we can also gain reputation in a Grand, I think. So maybe I'll spend a little bit of time doing a couple of the quests right here. Where that is one big hippogriff. But we just explored Oribor Harborage. That's a massive hippogriff. That's like scaled up super big. Interesting.
Hey there.
Timothy Daniels.
See you around. Have a good one.
And then we have this broken here.
Luck to you. Shield, peace for you.
And then
I need to get closer.
let's go ahead and quickly do some of the quests around here, I think. Where we can fight some of the ogres. And then we can go fight some more of the Daggerfin.
I can't do that yet. I don't have
There are also some glow caps around here that we can go ahead and pick up, which maybe I'll just store in my bank, because I like doing that thing where I just like collect like a bunch of random items as like I explore the road from level 1 to max level, and then I throw them into my bank and then go down memory lane a little bit when I like go to my bank and like read through everything I've explored in my playthrough. We get a crit increase chance with this. I feel like we always deal like more damage on top of like the double damage you normally deal. Oh, I almost killed the shaman before he healed. Oh, not again. There we go.
too far away. I can't do that. I don't have enough energy. Not ready yet. Ready yet. Not enough energy. I don't have enough energy. Not enough energy. I don't have enough energy.
So I think with the current eye, like we have a little bit of stuff going on with them here in Zangarmarsh. I think for the most part, we mostly do adventures with them in the Grand, and we start off like unfriendly, and like we build up our reputation with them. And I think we can get to like a good enough reputation in the Grand, but doing this quest will give us a good head start on that. But I think I'll just do this one, and I think I can actually do the Chieftain Wanted quest here by myself, so maybe I'll go check that out real quick. But I think I'll skip the Daggerfin Defiance quest because fighting the assassins is kind of annoying because they have a really annoying stun. And then also 15 muck dwellers is just a lot to kill. Getting a little tired. Okay, let's go find 3 more shamans. Got 2 right here. Okay, I just need 1 more shaman. Let's try to fight this one really quickly before the other shaman wanders back. So let's pop the skill so we can deal some damage. Wow, that was like 3 crits in a row. Let's fly up, heal. Before we, oh, nice. Before we landed, we were able to heal. So let's come over this way. So we completed the ogre quest. Let's search for the poison vial and then the poison manual. And then let's scout out the boss really quickly, but I'm gonna skip the killing quest. Alright, I see a poison vial right here. So let's grab that. There's another one over there. It looks like there's only 1 spot for the manual. But yeah, this quest, I think we can do by ourselves, even though it says it's a group quest. Or if you're a Death Knight, you can do like most of the group quests in Outlands by yourself, and a lot of them in Lich King as well. Oh, here's the poison manual. That's nice. Okay. Let's get our energy all the way back up, just to be on the safe side. And then we can open up over here. Let's kill the chieftain first, and then we can kill the 2 servants afterwards. Should be able to get a nice hit here. Oh, we were not. Okay, let's use this healing potion just to be on the safe side. Our bleed just killed that one. With the chieftain, we got the totem, so that quest is complete. Finish off this servant. And then I think that is 3 quests completed. So let's go ahead and get rid of the Daggerfin Defiance. Deviance? That's Deviance. Oh my gosh. I was just thinking of like Defiance with an F, but then I was throwing the V in there. It's Deviance. It's like playing Wordle. always trying to guess the word, and I'm like saying the word completely wrong than how it actually is, and I'm like, that's not a word, but then you say it the right way and you think you're stupid. Any glow caps on the ground over here? Can return to Ouroboros Harborage right here. Tailoring supplies, Mahuru the Weaver. Imbued netherweave boots and imbued netherweave pants. Fun, fun. Was that 5 gold each for them? 6 gold each. Oh. We have Timothy Daniels, the specialist. What kind of specialist are you anyways? If you have to ask, you don't know me anywhere near well enough to be using that appellation.
See you around.
Tim's trusty hat. Not the most attractive of headgear, but it gets the job done. Be sure to escape as quickly as possible after putting it on. Where? I think this is better than what we currently have equipped. So let's go ahead and do that. And then we have a special rogue drink here. Instantly restores 54 energy 5 minute cooldown. The perfect pick me up for those rough mornings after a late night. And then we can turn in these 2 quests. And that one. And then we have Overload Gorefist, where you can go kill Overload Gorefist and the 10 Angro Rosh Maulers all the way over there. But I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that quest, where we are now unfriendly with the Kurenai, but we've gained 1,000 reputation with them from completing 2 different quests, which means we are pretty close to neutral with them. So I think I want to come, we got a 5th glow cap, so I won't come over here. But let's go ahead and start heading back to the Cenarian Refuge, where I currently have 19 unidentified plant parts. Let's go ahead and we can just like make our way over here a little bit, and we can kill some monsters along the way to get a 20th one, so we can get 2 good turn-ins. And then I think I'll clean up my inventory a bit. We're almost halfway to level 63, so I think we made good progress on this stream, where we only need to be level 62 to get into Terracar, but being 63 is definitely going to be beneficial for us. And I think for the most part, with like last stream, I explored like everything in Hellfire Peninsula that I wanted to explore, and in this stream I explored pretty much all of Zangarmarsh. And we'll see how much we get done in Terracar. I feel like it might end up being like a 2-stream thing, and the Grand I think is definitely going to be like a 2-stream thing, or maybe just 1 stream. And then Shadowmoon Valley, we'll see how much we get done there. But yeah, I'm not sure how many Outland streams I'll be able to get done before the pre-patch for Cataclysm comes out, and then also if I don't finish it before the pre-patch, we'll see how many I get done before the full release of Cataclysm, where I'm wanting to do 1 stream outside of Outlands related to like Lich King that I've been wanting to do before the pre-patch, and then we could do a pre-patch stream maybe on this character where we return to Azeroth and we kind of mess around there a little bit, then we can come back here and do a little bit of questing. I guess I'll go up to Telbrador really quickly because we have the flight path up here, so we can kind of see all the flight routes that we have collected across Outlands so far, across the 2 zones we have explored, where the only flight paths in this map are in Telbrador and then in the Ouroboros Harborage, as we can see there, but we can go back to Hellfire Peninsula, and then we'll unlock more flight paths in the future as well. Some fun mushrooms growing on top of the big mushrooms. just need one more unidentified plant part. Or I could just not go for it, I guess. All these level 60 mobs are now green to us because we're level 63. That's exciting. There we go. There's our next unidentified plant part. Yeah, I'm excited to see the future of Classic and all these special events and whatnot, but I definitely have a fun time just exploring through Outlands, and I've had a fun time exploring through Zangarmarsh again. It's just like all very nostalgic and very fun as well. But let's come over here where we have our special identified plant parts turn in that we can do. I think we'll gain some reputation with the Sonaran Circle too, where we will be interacting with the Sonaran Circle a little bit in Terracar Forest as well, or Sonaran Expedition, excuse me. Let's open these up and see what we get. Got a gold thorn and some more edible ferns, which are so bound, but so far gold. Or we can eat them. I don't want to learn to be a cook, I want to sell goods. So let's sell that, this, that. This is to go to the next map. And then pretty much just gonna sell everything, I think. Maybe hold on to the scrolls and we can use them in the future. God, Morning Glory Dew. I wish we could hang on to our mage food and water because it's very nice. But I guess I'll take the Drainic water. I'll throw those right there. Throw that there. Throw that there. And then I guess we can hold on to them for a little bit, just in case we run out. Fish oil, volatile healing potions. This is loosely throw the hat look like on us. That's fun. It's kind of similar to what this night elf right there is wearing, which I've always thought this innkeeper looks really cool with this cane and his hat and his murder hobo outfit. Throw this down there. Just gotta be particular about my organization. Kind of want to hold on to that for my banking nostalgia trips or whatever. And then I should come out here. Oh, we have the Sonaran Expedition Quartermaster here where I can repair items. Expedition Flare. You can call for a Sonaran Expedition unit to come to your aid. Can only be used in Zangarmarsh while outdoors. But if we come to the end, we can see the Sonaran Expedition Tavern, which is fun. And we can get the Sonaran War Hippogriff, which is a very fast mount, which is fun. But I think that is everything that I want to explore in this stream, where I explored the entirety, for the most part, of Zangarmarsh, where we got the Explore Zangarmarsh achievement. And if we come into the quests here, we're very close to completing 500 quests, but in Mysteries of the Marsh we completed 37 out of 54 of the quests. So we completed 4 less than we did in Hellfire, but still quite a bit. And that's like the majority of the zone as well. But I hope you all enjoyed watching some Zangarmarsh explorations, and next stream we will explore the Terracar Forest, where there's a lot of exciting things here. The 2 quests that are sending us here, a bunch of quest chains, quest hubs we can go to, and the capital city on Outlands. But I hope you all are taking good care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.